Two live.
Farts. Old farts. Two old farts. Steve and Dave. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough. Not this time, though. This is just rough. Two old farts. There is no better waste of time. Two guys. Two old guys. A lot of BS and more drivel than you can shake a stick at. Steve and Dave. God help us.
And we are here. I have our special guest in the green room. So I'm very excited about it. He's been on our show many times.
He has indeed.
So,
he has indeed. Always brings something interesting when he comes.
I know. And this time, he's bringing a book that he didn't read, but he wrote.
Aha.
And then unfortunately, I understand there's no pictures, so David and I won't be reading it. But if you have a picture book like Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat, we're your guys. So, but anyway, so he did what you.
I'm okay. I'm okay if he wrote it very slowly. Then I'll be
able to read you can read it slowly. Sure, that's what I told people. If you can write slow, I can read it slow. I like that. That's true.
Yeah. So let's hope Farook has done that, and then I should be all right then.
Okay, good. Without the pictures.
Well, the pictures help. I have a lot of pictures in my mind, so anything.
I know, and we see them now developing into AI movies, and we're gonna have we're gonna have an intervention soon for you. Don't worry about that. So, should we bring in our friend?
Tablets are working.
There you go, Farook. Everybody, here's Farook Mohammed. Farook, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Farook.
I'm good.
We can hear you. You're a little far away, it sounds, but we can hear you. But you sound good. You look good. So we haven't spoken to you since I think like January.
Yeah, I've been so busy since then. I was supposed to have another talk with you guys when we were busy with that exhibition that I had. And I just got so caught up with all the stuff happening around. And I couldn't touch base with you guys again. So apologies for
that.
We just put it down to South African internet connections because we know how bad
Yes, we're very familiar with the South African internet connections, so we just figure you guys are always having problems.
Now I don't think it was the internet that time. It was more just me being so busy, and I had a lot of people around me. I remember last time I told you, like I had like 15 people employed.
Right.
It was for like 4 months, but then it was extended to like 8 months, and they've been great. I trained them on a whole bunch of stuff, showed them the ropes about the industry, especially the art market, and how to move yourself as an independent artist. Like I told a lot of people, you don't have to depend on, the property of the industry and the gatekeepers. You can just move around them, go all the way around them and hit your targets. And that's how I've been rolling, and it works for me. It's not that I'm cutting people out from business or anything. It's more like if they open to business, to negotiation, if they want to be, in business with me or work with me, it's fine. But I'm not going to wait for some gatekeeper to come and say, I'm discovering this guy. I'm going to steal their clients. I want my art to be sold. I want my art in the right places, in the right buildings. And basically, that's how I've been handling things. And the good thing is I've been documenting everything that I've been doing, the entire process that I've been through. And that's where the book comes into action. But it goes a little bit beyond just, it's for business in general. So there's a lot of pieces of my experience, knowledge, things that I've learned that I just poured into it.
So tell us more about the book, because I read the experts. I read the experts of it because we don't have the book. So because you published it and sent it to us. So when we meet your publisher, Nunzio and Rocco will dangle him over a balcony. But tell us more about the book, about your experiences and about what the book really covers and whatnot. And I think that people will find it fascinating. And then for everybody listening, we'll have a link below to Amazon so you can buy Farook's book. And I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so, well, if you look at a lot of people that's been speakers on TED Talks, etc., big names out there, that's been gripping social media a lot with the attention economy. So the book is very much focused on the attention economy and how I've navigated that and mastered that to a certain extent. A lot of artists, they want to find themselves because they need to be in magazines, they need to be in the press needs to get their stories about their artworks, their exhibitions, etc. They need to get features on cable news, everywhere. And those are just traditional media. Now, a lot of people have believed that social media, the internet, um, has replaced traditional media. And I say absolutely not. You need both. You need a combination of um, everything that goes on the internet, all the different platforms that's there, but you also need your traditional media. And this is where psychology comes into effect and just common sense.
Right.
We know that people's attention span drops within seconds on the internet. Within seconds, people are just scrolling. If they not caught into the moment, they'll just flip the screen. And whatever marketing people do, it ends the moment the person puts down their phone or the laptop is closed or whatever, they forget about it. And people are focused on getting their content to be more memorable. You want to remain in the minds of people. The difference is if you have a feature in the newspaper or you in a magazine, that book or that paper, a newspaper would stay maybe in the household for maybe a week or two max. And it's going to pass hands. A few people are going to read it inside the house. You've got maybe a neighbor pop in, a friend. They're also going to see there's a newspaper. They'll ask, can I read it? They'll look at it. They'll also get to be exposed to whatever is in there. So that information stays longer. It's a little bit more memorable too, because people can always go back to it. Unlike a phone, you scroll past most of the time, people just forgot about the thing. A lot of people that sits on social platforms like TikTok and wherever else, where they're just constantly scrolling, they can't even remember what they watched or what they were looking at 30 seconds later. So your content needs to be memorable online as well as on offline on traditional media. If you land something in let's say cable news, a lot of the times they replay whatever they filmed for the day. So you will constantly appear throughout the day. So if something is repeated often, it stays. And this is what all the big brands do, and that's where they focus on good storytelling. They focus on constantly appearing in front of you. They're not only on social media. They've got traditional media and they've got social media. Another interesting thing that happened recently that I've also discovered is I'm also on different social platforms, and obviously TikTok is going crazy with all kinds of funny things that happens on there, and people go viral very quickly. But what I've noticed is a lot of people are pushing so hard to, go viral or get a lot of followers. The main thing is not just the followers. You need organic followers. You need people that actually believe in what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're bringing to the table. And I've seen people with accounts on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, you name it, and they've got large following. And guess what? They're not making money. So what happened is there's a couple of guys that started reaching out to me, and they've been trying a lot of things, and they saw my book. They read up on it, and they're like, "This is gold," in terms of the attention economy, because it teaches you different strategies that I've used. It goes into branding, how to structure your brand based on ethics, morals, values. Because when you're a bad guy, people don't want to have any dealings with you. It's plain and simple. Once you've been put into the bad spotlight, it's over. So a lot of businesses, they try and make sure that the brand image is always good. So it delves into those type of things. So what happened is they looked at the book, they saw a couple of things, and what was happening is they've been promoting a lot of stuff online, and it hasn't been doing anything for them. And they're like, but you know what? A lot of businesses, a lot of individuals out there, they're trying to figure out how to master the attention economy. I just published a book. Yeah, it is. It gives you all the juices of what to do and how to structure yourself as a person in business. And they were thinking, you know what? I've tried a whole bunch of stuff. I might as well make money off this book. And I asked them, what do you mean? And he said, well, you're on Amazon. And they signed up as Amazon affiliates. And they're going to be pushing content to promote the book so that they can make money off it as well, because so many businesses are actually looking for information on how to structure themselves, how to master the attention economy. And good luck. You've got some of them have got maybe 100K, 600K, 800K, couple of million. And they've tried a lot of things and they're not making money. And they're like, but this is what everyone's looking for. So if you have a good product to sell, then it's something that everyone else is already looking for. They see my book as gold. But since we're talking about the book, I delve into my personal stories there, my little journey of what I've been through, and how I got to the point where I said, I had enough of just trying to get into places, galleries, magazines, this thing, that. Approach certain places yourself. If you can't get into a gallery, go and exhibit as an example at the hotel. Make friends.
Right.
And
well, but a lot of people don't think like that, though.
Not
so
being
when you
stagnant,
right, but a lot of people don't think like that. They
you
figure
need to be active. You
if
have
they
to
can't
put
get
in
into it,
effort behind your art.
right. But I was gonna say a lot of people don't think like that. They think they can't go from A to Z, right? If they don't get accepted somewhere, they don't know what to do. So, and they give up. But so what you're in your book is kind of saying is like, just don't give up. There's other avenues. If you don't make it on TikTok or you don't make it on Instagram, you can go to a
They throw
museum, you can go to
in,
the, right.
sometimes
And I think
people
guys,
throw in the
look into
towel.
that. Right. And there's no reason
Give
to
up.
throw in the towel. You should do it.
No. I think a lot of people just they kind of forget how they learned, and I think that's one of the issues. And like kids, for instance, when they're learning to walk, they fall over, they hurt themselves, and they get up again, and they go on, and they keep repeating it until they're stable on their legs and keep moving forward. And I think that's the same with business as well. People have this inbuilt fear of failure, but the only failure is failure of fear. You should just keep going.
There's a fear of failure.
Just keep trying everything. Yeah, because that will paralyze you.
Over the
If you're
fears.
already frightened before you start, you're always going to be frightened when it's finished. So just try and visualize that glass as being half full, and keep moving forward. But Farouk, when we first spoke to you,
But the thing is, knowledge
on the
is
show, you were sharing with us all your art and everything. But this business acumen that you now have, is that something that you studied, or is this something which is part of your journey with your art?
the thing is, I do have a finance background. I've been in different industries before.
Yeah.
Your financial markets or insurance, that setting, actuarial. I've been in that world before, and I've moved out of it into various other fields. I've managed different type of companies, and I just thought to myself, you know what, just apply what I know. And over the years, I've helped so many other companies um, build themselves up and become successful and make a lot of money. And I said, I need to use my skills for myself. And as I was going through this journey, because I've always wanted to be an artist, so I went into it full time, and I said, let me just do what I want to do, because there's a story behind everything that I want to do. I want to promote world peace. I want to use the power of art to bring about change in the world, especially between nations that are not seeing eye to eye. So I like to remind people of things and say, listen, put politics aside, we're all human beings. Um, and like I said before, for me, it's difficult to choose between nations because I'm so diverse. So whenever there's conflict between nations, I see it as a family fight. So I can't choose sides. And people need to realize that even in business, you will kill your business if you have this mindset of animosity and hate towards others. At the end of the day, we're a global village. Um, we feed each other from different parts of the world. If we had to cut off certain sections of nations, then we all suffer. We'll either suffer from there's a lack of food coming in, there's a lack of fuel, there's a lack of something, and we all need each other. So I always look at what's the needs for today and the future. And I've set myself up for the type of future that I want to see in the world. We can go so far as a people globally if we just learn to get together and get over our issues, especially technologically. We've been advancing so far. Imagine if we all came together, how far wouldn't we be? Um, and it's time we put differences aside and look at all the commonalities that we have. We need to take control of things. We want to explore the worlds beyond our own planet. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be impossible unless we all work together. Then we will achieve greatness. I'm tired of driving in a car. I want to fly. You understand what I'm saying? So the futuristic world that we've been dreaming about in the 70s, 80s, 60s, around there, and how we wanted to see a future, or what we used to think of the future. We're living in that future time, and we're not there yet. We've advanced quite a bit, but if we stick together and we start coming together to work as one unit, this global family, put the best that we have forward, the best scientists, our best artists, let us all work together. We can then paint a beautiful future for ourselves. We will know where we're heading. Currently, a lot of people don't know where they're heading, and it's sad.
It's interesting
So I'm
because
trying to make a difference through my art, even with my book, by educating people.
Yeah, I was saying it's sad because you're talking very nobly about bringing everybody together and everybody being one big global family. But for a lot of people, globalization, at least on the business side, is now something which they're looking back on as a failure. That it's just caused more problems than it solved. So, how many people are standing behind you with your banner of "Let's be one big global family"? That must be a very difficult cause to to step forward with.
I'll I'll put it this way: it is a daunting task. It's not easy, but when you get the right messages across, people do change. They do see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like I've said, when people start looking at each other without seeing color, without seeing geographical location, when you look at each other and you see a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, you see yourself in that person. We've reached a point where people stop seeing the human being in the next person. And that's where the problem lies. We've been fooled by so many political games out there. And people are power hungry. Don't give them that power. That's basically what I'm saying. You don't have to obey what a certain government says. You're not taught to hate people. You don't have to hate anyone in this world. It's actually wrong to hate people for who they are, where they're from, for their language, the sound of their name. Because sometimes people hate each other just because of their names, which is weird. We need to get over those things, but it's everything does. But the minute people start seeing themselves in the next person, like I said, you see a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, as you see yourself in your own family, everything changes. And in the same sense, when we look at things in that way, our way of doing business changes too. You don't discriminate with people when you look at people. You don't look at someone's like, maybe this person won't be able to afford something. What do you know? I know a couple of people that are billionaires. If they walk past you in the street, most people wouldn't even know, because they're not flashy. They don't flaunt their wealth. They dress very normal. They wear plain t-shirts. They don't wear certain labels and stuff. Yes, when they do go out and there's a fancy function, they will dress up and, but in a general sense, they mix with people in the street, and it's different races. And I know for a fact that a lot of people wouldn't know that X, Y, and Z person walking past them is maybe a billionaire. And that's the type of world that I've gotten to learn to know, that don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, the best story I have for that is when I lived in Montana. I lived in Missoula, Montana, and there was a bar where everybody would go smoke cigars because cigars are great equalizers. So they don't care if you're a guy punching doggies, which means branding cows, or a billionaire. And we'd all sit there and smoke cigars, and you never knew if you were sitting next to a guy that made $250 a week or $250 million a day. And it was the best experience ever. And I learned from my experience being born in the city, New York City, which nobody knows because we don't talk about that. You learn that never judge a book by its cover, because the guy who looks like he needs a handout probably owns like 4 buildings in the city, and the guy who's dressed dapper is trying to make it look like he owns the 4 buildings. And then as you get older, you learn with cigars, it's a great equalizer. So everybody's like a brother in arms because you're all smoking a cigar. So you don't look at their worth. You don't look at what they're smoking. You may ask them what they're smoking to see if it's good, bad, or indifferent. But at the end of the day, it's all just about everyone just getting along. And unfortunately, people don't do that. People, you put labels on people, and if you don't have the right clothes, the right car, people don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
And to that, I'm like, good. I don't need any more best friends. I have enough. So,
yeah, well,
but you're right.
Are they not? They're all fair weather friends, Stephen.
That's true. But that's my. But his point is right. I never judge a book by its cover. That's exactly what I wrote in the title for this interview. Never judge a book by its cover. So there you go. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
So
well, apart from the fact that we're not encouraging, we're encouraging people to buy Farook's book so they can actually judge the book by the cover and and everything which is inside the cover, the dust cover or whatever, hardback, softback. So
it's also on Kindle, so they don't have to buy the book; they could just read it on their tablet. So there you go.
Oh, it's all this modern stuff.
Yes.
Gives me a bit of a headache, I think, reading things electronically. I like a book. I like a book.
Basically, there's 2 options. You can either
One more time.
You get people that like the
the
physical
dribble
book in
the
the
dribble
hands,
in
you give
South
the
Africa
option.
stopped running.
There's a paperback. Hey,
One more time, Farook.
I couldn't hear you. I said I basically gave people options. There's a paperback and obviously the ebook, because I know some people want to have a physical book in the hands. I'm that type of person. I've got a lot of books. I grew up with encyclopedias. What I wanted to mention, like we were talking about now, not judging a book by its cover, I learned that early on in life. When I started in the financial services industry, insurance, I was young. I was very young. I finished high school and I went straight away to work. And I worked in actuarial department. And I didn't know that the people that were sitting somewhere at the top of the building, like right on top of the building, I went there to go and have like a coffee and a smoke in the mornings, sometimes in the evening. So I was standing there having my coffee, having my smoke, and there was a group of guys standing in the corner talking about business and stuff, and they were sitting with newspapers. It was the directors and the CEO. And the next thing I started throwing my opinions. And that's how I learned. Don't judge a book by its cover. I thought it was a bunch of stupid guys. And they looked at me and they thought I was the stupid one. They said, okay, no, these guys got brains. And they moved me down to the offices near to them. So I became the CEO's pet for about a year. And the guy used to steal my ties in the mornings. He's like, no, you listen better than me. Give that damn thing. Yeah, I'm going out for meetings. They used to do that to me. But I started in that industry. I was about, 19 or so. And I stayed in it for quite a few years. But I started seeing cracks all over, like, in business in general. And what surprises me, I watched a couple of videos earlier today. What surprises me is the youth of today, the youngsters. There are youngsters out there that are totally beating, the older generation at making money. I've seen 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16s, early 20s, and they clocking at maybe 30K, 70K a month, cash, dollars. And they're doing stuff online. Same like these guys that now spotted the book and saying they want to do affiliate marketing and try and promote it further and get the, at least get like a piece of that while they're promoting it. And I thought to myself, these guys think very quickly. And a lot of them are youngsters. They see a gap very quickly and they just dive into it. And they're driven more than, I think they're but a little bit more driven than what we are. So we can't overlook the youngsters of today. There's still hope for them. You get a lot of youngsters there they've got a drive that I haven't seen before. Like from my own generation, we were very science, very technology at that point, but we were still lacking in the drive for certain things. The youngsters of today, they take risks very quickly. They just jump into it. They don't ask questions. They jump for it. And as soon as they get into it, they start thinking, what's the next move? What do we do? They move.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. I mean, I know a lot of people that are under 20 that they can't get out of their own way. I think there's a select few of them, and I'm assuming their parents may help them, or they may have a good mentor that helped them do that.
We're talking about, I won't say it's the general public out there in terms of youngsters, but there's a lot of them.
But there's also a lot of old. But there's also
how kids
there's also a lot of older. Right. But there's also a lot of older people that I've noticed on Instagram and TikTok and all these other media or social media channels that are making just as much money as the youngsters. So I'm not saying that I don't think the youngsters today are any special. I actually think they're worse than the youngsters of back in the day. Because when we were kids, we were always making money. We were always thinking of something. Kids today want easy money. They're like, I'm going to create a TikTok channel or this or that. So there's a different mentality, I think, with that. And just because.
Yeah, they want everything now.
Right. And just because they have success with something.
They're not waiting for the pro. They're not waiting to go through a process.
Right. And that's fine. But I'm thinking when I was growing up as a kid, we didn't have all this. So to make money, we had paper routes. We sold lemonade. We did whatever we had to do. So that instilled a work ethic into us. I don't think the kids today have the work ethic. I don't think if something's not successful, like in a day or two, they're like, I'm giving up. I'm going to try something else. Where, we were just told to persevere. So we make money on the internet, right? Because of our channels and our social media.
Yeah.
So, and we're not kids. And it took a year for us to get to the point where people go, hey, we know who you are. And we can start monetizing what we do. And I don't think a 13-year-old or a 113-year-old knows anything any more or less. It's just how they deliver it. because anybody can learn it, you know? So I think there's a lot. There's a lady I watch on Instagram. She's like a grandma, and she has these old fashioned sayings, which are hysterical, but she's killing it. So I don't think it's so much the kid goes, I'm going to do this and change with the times. It's just that they're bored because they don't go out and play anymore. Like if I'm a kid today, I don't go play. I don't go do this. So me making money on the internet, sort of like, all right, that's my play. So, you know, it's a little different how they're growing up today.
I think one of the things which has brought this different dynamic to young people is social media. Right. Because it is a way to instantly evaluate success and failure, which you know we didn't have when we were in our teens and early 20s. You know, you had to buy a product, you know, do something with it and try and sell it. Now these days, you know, it's like everything is a lot quicker, a lot. So yeah, the failure is probably less painful, and the new ideas can be a lot easier thrown into the world we live in, and that may be just the real plus thing about social media. I mean, there are so many negative things about it as well, but yeah, bright young people. That's they're moving into a world where they are, you know, less young people than there are old people. So yeah. They have to learn quick and do stuff quick, I think.
We have a responsibility. I still think we do have a responsibility over the youth and give them guidance and stuff like that. Even in my book itself, it gives a lot of guidance in terms of how you should operate with business. It's very, very, I'm very much on ethics, morals, values, those type of things. So it's about what to do with your business, how to operate in that sense.
Is that without being sort of, you know,
it's not just
everything
it's not just the chase,
doom and gloom, but that's only applicable, is it not, to people who want to learn, who want to be mentored. And there's a lot of young kids who just think, wow, you know, whatever, you know, and just charge on through life. Maybe they won't be the successful ones at the end. Maybe, I mean, if I look back in my life, there were very important people when I was, you know, in my late teens, who would just try and ground you a little bit and just say, hey, look, you know, look at it this way, look at it that way, because that's the thing I think that you can offer younger people. People will say, oh, you're a wise old man, you're a grumpy old man or whatever. No, well, maybe I am grumpy, but if I'm wise, it's only because I've seen a lot of water pass under my bridge. So it gives you you know, more of an opportunity to talk about things that could happen because of what you've seen and experienced in the past. So yeah, we're still here. We're not dead yet. And if people want to, you know, and I take my hat off to you to write the book and share experiences. And I hope that you're going to be really successful with it, because yeah, I mean, two things. One is that they might find the book really interesting, the subject matter, and what's more importantly, they may actually discover that it's a book. And it may take them off into another journey. Oh, books are not just for keeping my door open in a drafty room; they're actually of value and you know, interesting to read.
Yeah.
Very cool. No, I hope the book does well. So, you know, and like I said, we read the little bio that was sent over. So we had a good idea what it was about, and we'll have to now get the book and read the whole book and see what it's about. And hopefully you'll stay in touch with us and tell us what's going on with you in your next big show or your next big project.
Yeah, I'll do so, but I had to cancel on some of my stuff because of things that were going on. I don't want to be outshined by politics and stuff, so I had to cancel a group exhibition, but I'll kickstart it again and see if I can pull it off in one of the jobs that we've got here.
Very, very cool. Well, the next time you're going to do something, let us know, like the book. We'll have you on. You can talk about it. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. thank you so much for your time today. And so for you that don't know, Farook lives in South Africa. So he's referring to the BRICS conference that was there, and a few of the other things that was going on there. Between that and I think World Rugby and the other things that would have overshadowed his art exhibit. So he was rightly to pull it, and he'll have a new one hopefully coming up before the end of the year. So
yeah, and of
I think
course,
that's it.
the other issue that we know is that South Africa, because we know this through one of our other colleagues, one of the other hosts of our shows on TOF, is that there's some real serious issues with internet cable. I think it was cut somewhere in the sea, and so it's a bit drifting in and out today. So hopefully everybody got the gist of the conversation. And I'm sure Farouk will be back to tell us more of the exciting things that he's up to, because he's always doing something, and
That is true.
That's what makes it a pleasure to have him on the show. So thank you very much, Farouk, for being with us. And that's it really for me today.
Don't forget to subscribe and like, everybody. Leave your comments below, and Farouk's book is below as well. You can click the link to Amazon and you can get his book. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Oops, we're still on. And now